high school girls, all for me, high school girls.
What happened?
They were talking about nurses and how they love nurses.
Oh my lord.
Oh!
Whoa!
Where did she get the outfit?
He's on crutches, but he just had to walk into the door.
Those eyes. Dude, I love the animation.
So good.
The art.
Oh, man.
So
I
good.
want to see more anime this artist has done.
Yes, Doc.
It's time for your medication.
That didn't make any sense.
Well.
Oh my
Finally this close to it. I should be excited again.
You know what to do.
I don't know how everything ended up like this, but I'm pretty sure
Oh, jeez, that was so weird. I just got this image of like you, like with a girl.
No, don't picture me.
You like push her down, and like the camera goes to her face, and you're like, you know what to do.
Oh man, that sounds so hilarious. No, so he got an erection, and she thought it was because of the nurse.
Oh.
And she karate chopped his dick. And now he's explaining it was her that caused an erection, not the nurse.
Sorry,
Right. Yes, ma'am.
This is almost more intimate than actually touching her. Wow, I can hear how fast her heart is beating.
It's kind of sweet, actually.
I don't understand
Amongst
why
all
every
the
time we start getting a little
sexual
dirty, I get
overdrive.
so embarrassed.
Oh my god. Is that an older lady, or is her hair just gray?
Her hair is just gray.
Dude, that's what I noticed. In SoCal, there's a fad going around. Girls are like dyeing their hair like gray.
Oh yeah.
Light gray,
I
yeah.
kind of like it.
It's
Kinda
alright.
like a silver.
Dude, this girl at my work,
She was just with them.
mwah, a masterpiece. Dyed her hair a little bit gray. I was like, oh my goodness, what did you do with your hair? She was like, oh, well.
Oh, shit, I need to go back to her. She said something about not feeling well.
I gotta come get lunch sometime.
You guys are supposed to be.
Yes, you
So you
do.
have a problem?
It almost made sense in my head.
No, like what?
He's singing it!
Yeah!
Whoa!
What?
Wait, what? I
How was
missed
she
it.
there?
Okay, so he said he was gonna go take a bath and then she snuck in?
I
Why the
guess.
heck are you still?
Dude, she is thirsty,
Sure
bro.
you want to do?
You've seen it
Stop
before.
being so shy.
Yeah, he's already.
Get in that
Dude,
tub
man,
already.
once I saw
You're not
everything,
even
there was
over yourself.
absolutely no shame. And once my girlfriend saw everything, there was zero shame whatsoever. It was like, man, we could walk around getting coffee like this and it wouldn't even bat an eye.
Wow.
Go.
Dude, this anime brings out the worst in us.
I know.
This is worse than prison
I'm
school,
so
man.
ashamed of you guys.
You would think
Oh my
prison school we would be more.
I'm freaking out. This
Yeah,
is
isn't that
Lord,
weird?
We're not
We
playing
weren't
doctor
as
or
bad
anything.
with that. Why?
Games.
I think it's because it was more satirical, whereas this, I mean, it's still satirical, but I mean, it feels so real. I don't know. To me, it feels. It's hitting home more than I'd expect it to. Whoa!
Please.
Let's just be silent and enjoy this
Enjoy.
situation.
Nose
What
bleed.
happened?
He
Nose.
fainted because he saw the boobs.
Please, we can't go out like this. Bring it back to me. Please, God. B Gata H Kei forever.
Please let me find a wicked hot girlfriend.
With the shoe
You're not telling me there's a season 2 to this, is there?
Yeah, wait a
They never
minute.
do
Why are
it.
you looking at me like this?
They never do it.
Your boyfriend.
What?
Please let
Is
me
this
know you're
over?
not familiar
Yeah.
with me anymore.
They
Weird
never have
questions,
sex the whole series. The whole show.
Let Takeshita not
Never
have
happens.
to deal with any.
He never even gives him a handy J?
Please, God, let me break.
Not even a Bubba J?
I mean, you know, it lets it
So pathetic, you know that?
it lets you imagine like
Something for you for
in the
once.
future when they do.
Oh, P.S. Please
But-
let Carson
No one ever comes here. I only know about it's my house.
Does that ruin it for you? The whole anime is ruined now. Really, really disappointing.
So we went from 100 men to none.
0. Yeah. Nothing. She never does it. The whole series. It ends every time something gets in the way. How are you feeling right now? I did warn you at the beginning. You probably won't like the.
That freaking sucked.
Bro!
I hated it.
You know
We
what?
hated the ending.
You know what it felt like to me? It felt like
It
the
felt
show.
like hell incarnate.
The show was like bringing. It was bringing the climax, and it denied me right before it could finish.
Exactly.
That's an excellent.
That is a perfect analogy
Analogy.
of what went down. Couldn't even finish.
Whoa, I just had an epiphany. What if they did that because that's literally what happened every time with her?
Whoa! It's symbolic.
Dude,
It's
you took the
symbolic.
show just now. I couldn't even think of that. Bro. Whoa.
I'm tripping.
Mind blown.
James,
I'm pissed off. I'm irritated.
I'm gonna be
Damn.
so honest with you right now, James. That is the smartest thing I've ever heard you say in my life.
Damn. I mean, alright.
Alright, so what we're gonna do real quick before we get on to closing out this episode, we're just gonna read. We decided to read a negative review this week. Take it away, David.
A badge. So this guy gave it a 3 out of 10.
Damn.
Pretty bad. Couldn't find anything lower. Well, we didn't scroll very far, but you know, we're lazy.
Oh, we scrolled. We scoured the internet.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
We scored.
I thought we were talking about last time.
We spent hours going through
We
reviews.
kept pressing next.
Only the best quality for you, people.
Because
We work so hard for you,
work
gang
hard.
squads,
Gang
guys?
squad.
Gang
Yeah.
squad.
We
Gang
work for
squatters.
you, We suffer
Gang
for you.
squatter.
Hey, how's it going, gang squatters? We're playing Resident Evil 7.
How's it going, gang squad?
Today we're gonna prank my brother.
Press the like button, share it many times again.
Fuck that like button.
Every cliche.
Fuck that like button.
Alright. Okay, we're gonna read the review now.
Yes.
Alright, so this guy hates the show. Alright, story. The premise here is unique. I never heard of a premise like this anyway. An adolescent girl lusting for sex, straying away from many of the norms, cliches of typical romance/ecchi anime. It purposely portrayed its main character as a sex-crazed bimbo. Unfortunately, it did this too well. The issue isn't the end, but the way they portrayed the means. The story and pacing backfired in making its characters vulnerable or sympathetic and rather painted them in a negative light far too often. The atmosphere and mood tries to convey melodrama, but it often just heightens the idiocy and hostile behaviors of characters. It desperately needed to show these characters being more vulnerable and honest instead of annoying and irrationally immature. So they were annoying, he says.
Yeah, he was saying it was.
They were
difficult-
unrealistic.
It was difficult to be sympathetic with them because they were shown in a negative light. I thought they were somewhat sympathetic. I guess it was sympathetic in a sexual way, because
Well, like, you wanted them to do it, and they
Yeah.
keep screwing up, and you're like, come on, let's do this.
yeah, you know what? It did kind of bring a stupidity feel, an idiocy.
Well, I mean,
feel.
yeah, all the characters were ridiculous and crazy.
But I mean, yeah, that's how it was written, though. I don't think anybody was
Yeah.
hostile, except for
Purple hair.
Kanjetsu, or whatever her name is, American girl. She
That's
was
true.
pretty hostile. But I felt like that added good tension. It was meant to be. It was meant to be kind of wild and crazy and
Yeah,
stupid,
I don't
you know?
think every anime has to be really realistic and serious, and you know.
I felt the characters were vulnerable. They may not have been honest. They definitely, there was definitely a dialogue issue where they had times where they should have shared their feelings, but they didn't. And I guess
isn't
they
that kind of
couldn't.
realistic though? Like that really happens. You're like,
It does, though.
you don't.
It does happen.
You should, and you just don't.
Yeah,
That's relatable.
I don't think I could agree with this guy too much.
Mm.
And it does portray my Yamada as a sex-crazed bimbo. Not a bimbo, just sex-crazed. She's curious. That's what she is. She's
Would
not-
you say she was stupid, like
She
dumb?
thirsty.
I wouldn't necessarily say
I wouldn't say she
dumb.
was necessarily dumb, but like James said, she's thirsty. She is sex crazed, but out of curiosity, not out of like horniness or anything. If it was horniness, she would have been all over anybody, really. She would have been able to get on Costa no problem, but it wasn't horniness. It was, she was curious, and she didn't want to be behind the times with her other friends, behind the experiences. She wanted to feel like she had the same mature experiences as everyone else. Maybe I'm putting too much on the characters. Maybe this is not really how they look, but this is how I took it, at least. Mm-hmm. Shall we go into the characters? Speaking of which,
Characters. Wait.
Let's decompress that real quick.
Okay.
I didn't think Yamada was incredibly obnoxious.
Yeah.
She was annoying, but to be honest, she did kind of act like a girl. She acted kind of, I mean, more comedically
Exaggerated.
but on the base level, it was kind of accurate. I don't know.
No, I agree.
But for immature girls, though, not matured, like immature, young, not knowing
like
selfish.
she's like what, 16 in the
self-centered.
show?
You know what he said about Yamada's friends telling her that she's doing something wrong and she doesn't have any self-awareness or empathy.
Wait, when did they tell her she was doing something wrong?
Yeah, no, her sister, well, her
friend?
sister, yeah. But her friend who had a boyfriend would always tell her, like, you gotta do this, you can't be hiding this from Kasada, you have to, tell him the truth, you have to tell him how you feel, and she's like, no, it's sex, blah, blah. That, that is true that she did lack a lot of self-awareness, and, she never really did develop in that way. It only happened, you're right, the guy is right, it only happened at the very end of the episode where she was like, you know what? We can wait, because it wasn't until episode 11 where she was like, maybe waiting is good. And then she was like, okay, well, I'll just stay with Kosada and not sleep with 100 men. And that was on the last episode. So she wasn't very self-aware, and it did make a brother. There was no self-development. I don't think there was any character development in this at all, which is what we knocked Fruit Basket for. But I felt like this as a comedy, it was meant to just be. The show was built around the awkward moments that ensued when they tried to have sex. That's what the show was for. The show was just a bunch of awkward sex moments, and then they were linked together with just filler and stuff.
The real question is, where is the enjoyment in this?
Oh man, I had fun.
Yeah, me too. It was great. I wasn't, like I've said many times, I wasn't dreading the day when you called me over for it.
Yeah.
Get it with Fruit Basket. I'm fully aware that that art is subjective, but I could not for the life of me see why people rate this so highly and like this so much. Maybe if you had a sense of humor.
Same thing we were saying to reviewers from prison school. If you had a sense of humor.
Yeah, ass. He said there's a better way to do anime, manga in that genre, and I'm like, it's funny because that's how I felt about this. Like, with prison school, I was like, they didn't need, like, Madame Milf with gigantic planet-sized tits, They didn't need that. There's a better way to do that. And then we watched this, I'm like, see, there we go, that's better. That's a better way to do it. Ecchi. That's all I had to say about that.
Oh.
I don't agree with him.
Okay. Yeah, I think for an ecchi anime, well, B Gata was definitely a more tamer of the ecchi anime.
I almost, because whenever I told friends about it, I said, romantic comedy. I never referred to it as ecchi. I mean, it does have the naked scenes in the last 2 episodes.
Might have to consider changing the series to ecchi anime instead of shonen.
They have all been pretty ecchi, huh? Especially Keijo's coming up, too.
Oh my gosh. Now, yeah, when you were saying that it's showing the bad and the good, having erotic and not erotic scenes that help flesh the character, every episode was, well, I mean, they were non-erotic moments, but they were all building up to the end of the episode, which was always an erotic.
And then the last 2, especially in Psycho Girl's bedroom, it really showed, like you even pointed out, like how girls are scared, it's a scary thing.
I think, well, I mean, they did capture the emotion of being in those situations pretty well. I think they focused a lot on Yamada's emotions because Kosada's the boy, he kind of just always had like a shy, shamed, scared, like freaked out look on his face, but I felt like with Yamada you could see emotions of like scared, being vulnerable. They never really expressed it in words or thought or dialogue, which is a real shame. But it was there. Maybe it was just, again, maybe I'm just projecting my own emotions and experiences onto the anime, but I do agree with this guy that the lack of self-awareness in the main characters is a flaw in the anime, and that definitely brings it down a point for me. The characters, I don't have really empathy for the characters. It's just, like I said, projecting onto the situation as if it was you and your girl your first time, And for me, that's what really brings it home for me. But I guess the characters I don't really care. But I mean, Yamada was cool. I liked her. But 2 out of 10 for enjoyment? Nah.
No way.
Dude, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, I mean, I'd give it a 6 or a 7 for enjoyment because it was, I think a 6 or a 7 because for me it was solid enjoyment. It was good. But it wasn't, like, great. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, or anything like that. It was just good.
I really liked it when I watched it for the first time.
Except for that ending, though. I give it a 6.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Because
yeah. It
my
was
climax
so
was
frustrating. Yeah, exactly.
I
James
needed
said
a
it. Oh no,
climax.
you said it, and then he said it's related. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. Like all the build up, and then
Exactly.
it's you really can't describe it better than being denied a climax.
So I can give that whole series an honest 6 out of 10.
I'll say my rating for the live stream. Or not,
Oh,
or
okay.
not live.
No, it's fine. Oh, you're right. Keep it a secret to everybody.
But yeah, so
Don't forget to come back to this channel at 7 o'clock Pacific time tonight. We're going to have a live or not live
chat.
We're going to have a late night discussion. Whether it's live streamed or pre-recorded, we're not sure yet.
We are not.
But
But we
check
will
back
be.
at 7 o'clock because something will be there. We'll either be
Definitely.
here live or it'll be that. So
Could be.
next week, Keijo. Oh! What the fuck?
And I'm gonna say this. I watched like all the way almost to the end, and so far it's way tamer, despite the fact that
Really?
this theme is fighting with boobs and butts.
Wow.
I mean, it's not fan service, don't get me wrong, but you don't see like nipples or anything. It's not
Right.
like sex.
It
No
may
sex.
be Keijo. We might watch that. There's like a 99% chance. But if we find something else before then we're going to watch that other thing instead. But alright then.
And show.
Oh! Oh no! I actually shit my pants. Damn it! Not now!
We have. We have.
Oh gosh! Oh gosh! This has only happened twice in my life!
We have.
Oh no!
We have reviews
Okay,
to
wait!
read.
Wait! What do I do?
Grab the leggings of your
As if you know!
Stared at me in
I'm-
the face.
I'm just thinking it would make sense.
I don't want to sit on it! James, quick! That's what I get.